Hi, engineers. What if you could walk into your next QA or SDT interview knowing exactly which questions are designed to trip you up, why they ask them, and having crisp, confident answers ready to deliver? In this video, we're going to crack open the top 10 interview traps that catch almost everyone, even strong candidates. Explain the real intention behind each one, show where most people slip, and give you ready-to-use templates and example scripts you can adapt and say out loud. Treat this like your personal live coaching session. By the end, you'll turn those tricky moments into your biggest strengths. Let's dive in. First trap, tell me about yourself. Most candidates ramble through their whole career or just list tools. Interviewers aren't looking for a biography. They want a tight 45 to 60-second snapshot that highlights scope, real impact, and direction. Use this simple structure: role and scope, key domains, measurable outcomes, your core tools, and what you're excited to do next. Here's an example you can personalize. I'm a QA or SDET focused on web and API testing. Recently, I stabilized our CI pipeline and shifted most checks to the API layer, cutting regression time from 45 minutes to 18 and dropping flakiness from 12% to 3%. I work daily with Playwright and Cypress for UI, Postman and REST for APIs, SQL for data checks, and GitHub Actions for CI. I'm passionate about risk-based testing and want to scale reliable automation on the most critical paths. Second, design a test strategy for this feature. The common mistake is listing every possible test without showing judgment. What they really want is risk-prioritized thinking and a solid grasp of the test pyramid. Keep your answer around 1 minute. Name the top risks first, then thin UI smoke for P0 happy paths. Push the bulk of validation to API and integration. Include data seeding and observability, and gate merges on fast smoke while the full suite runs in the background. Example for checkout. The biggest risks are payment failures and order consistency. I'd create a thin UI smoke covering only P0 flows, move validations, negatives, and edges to API tests, seed isolated data per run, capture traces and logs for quick triage, and gate pull requests on the smoke while nightly regression runs. Third, UI versus API. Where do you automate? Saying UI for everything or API for everything is a red flag. They want to see you understand the cost-signal trade-off. Strong one-liner. UI stays thin for happy path smoke only. The heavy validation lives at the API and integration layers for the best signal at the lowest cost and maintenance. Contracts and units catch rules even earlier. Fourth, how do you handle flaky tests? Answering "just add retries" shows you're treating symptoms, not causes. Interviewers want a systematic approach. Flakes usually stem from timing, shared state, environment, or network issues, or brittle selectors. My playbook: wait on real system signals instead of sleeps, isolate data per test, mock externals at lower layers, strengthen selectors, collect video, traces, and logs in CI. Retries are only a temporary bridge around known instability. Always quarantine and track the root fix. Memorable line: fix the root cause, not the symptom. Fifth, write a great bug report. Vague titles and missing reproduction steps kill credibility. A strong report is clear, developer-friendly, and fast to action. Follow this: descriptive title with symptom and scope, environment info, numbered repro steps, actual versus expected, evidence like screenshot, trace, or log, severity or priority, and any suspected root cause notes. Powerful title example: payment capture fails on Visa Sandbox with HTTP 500 when amount has 2 decimal places. Sixth, how would you test login or sign up? The trap is unstructured case dumping. Show organized thinking. Happy path first, boundaries on lengths and formats, negatives for wrong credentials, lockouts, rate limits, and abuse like brute force or enumeration. Always seed fresh data per test and assert status codes, messages, and audit logs. Seventh, how do you prioritize and estimate under time pressure? Vague "it depends" answers lose points. Use a clear model. Priority equals impact times probability. Pull top risks into the smoke first, then expand. Estimation: test count times average minutes plus setup buffer. State assumptions and refine after the first run. Example: 5 Smoke UI tests plus 12 API cases would take about 3.5 hours, including data setup. I'll validate timing after the initial run. 8th, Cypress versus Playwright versus Selenium. Which and why? Blind fanboy answers are obvious. Pick one, give 3 concrete reasons, and show context awareness. Example. For Greenfield Web UI, I go with Playwright. It's faster, auto-weights cut flakiness, and the trace viewer makes triage lightning fast. Cypress excels at developer experience and ecosystem. Selenium still rules for massive browser grids and legacy. I align with whatever the team standardizes. 9th, how do you test APIs without a UI? Just Postman is too limited. Demonstrate full coverage. Validate contracts for status, schema, required fields, and idempotency. Cover happy, boundary, negative, and auth cases. Seed data per test. Run collections in CI with Newman or coded tests. Fail on schema drift, and tag cases by risk. 10th, walk me through a small coding task. Arrays, strings, or maps. Typing before thinking, missing edges, and skipping complexity are the biggest pitfalls. Stay calm. Restate the problem. Explain your plan. Mention time and space complexity. Highlight key edges. Write clean code. Then test with 2 examples. Mini example for first unique character. I scan once to build a map of counts. Scan again to return the first index with count 1 or -1 if none. Time O of n, space O of n. Here are some quick lightning lines to have ready. Test pyramid. Thin UI smoke for P0 paths. Bulk checks at API and integration. Contracts and units for early rules. Max signal, minimal cost. Flakiness. Wait on signals. Isolate data. Mock lower. Better selectors. Full artifacts in CI. Retries last. Risk-based. Prioritize by impact times probability. Gate merges with smoke. Expand by risk. Big O. Single pass for O of n time. Constant or linear space depending on structure. And short behavioral stories. 30 to 40 seconds each. Flaky test fix. Problem. Actions with signal weights and data isolation. Result. Flakiness dropped from 12% to 3%. CI speedup. Long runs blocked feedback, so parallel execution and trimming cut time from 45 minutes to 18. That's your full playbook. Memorize the templates, swap in your own numbers and experiences, and practice out loud. You'll walk into any interview ready to shine. If you want me to fully script any of these with code or detailed test cases, drop your top 2 in the comments. You've got this. Now you're 1% smarter. The cheat code is consistency, so keep boosting your brain. Make it your daily routine, and you will nail your next interview. Same rhythm tomorrow at Code Crack Interviews.